Welcome to Thoughts with ebayjoey. I'm your host, ebayjoey. Welcome to another show. This is episode 3, so thank you for coming back. And if it's your first time, welcome. Today, I'm going to be talking about risk, calculated risk, and regret. That's going to be my thoughts. I'm going to share that on how it pertains to reselling or perhaps your personal life. Before we get started into that, I want to talk a reseller's journey news. I just launched an episode a couple days ago with Nick Fury 2345, who is a Nike / Converse employee. He did work at Nike for a year and transitioned to the Converse side of the business where he's an operations manager. And we do talk about bulk buying, how they treat resellers, some tips and strategies that can help you. So it's a really cool interview. If you haven't got a chance yet, go ahead and check it out on YouTube and all the different podcast platforms. Also, to give you an update, the stores are starting to open up across the country. It seems like it's regional. So the segment that I'm working with, Ross Shallington, we're getting closer. So we do have the layout of the show. We're just waiting for stores to open because we're going to incorporate some of the stuff that we do see at the store. So that's in transition. Also, I did talk about making some shirts. And recently I was walking with my family at the park. And where I live, we have a park that's close to the house that we live in, and my son was playing with this woman's son, and then we just started talking like what you do, what I do, and so she makes shirts, and so we started talking about shirts, and there's no minimums, and she has this different process. So I'm gonna be networking with her. Hopefully we can work something out where I can start getting some shirts printed and just kind of see what happens with that. But today's thoughts starts with risk, regret, and calculated risk. And with all this corona stuff, virus happening, and people saying they're having their best month ever, their best year ever, this is better than any Q4s that they've been a part of. I just been kind of just thinking, like, how did I do during this pandemic that just kind of started this flood of sales? And so as I was thinking, I was telling myself, I didn't take that much risk during this time. Also, I didn't take calculated risk, which leaves me with regret. And I was telling myself, and I've talked to other resellers, just strategizing my business, and I wish I was well prepared for something like this. As far as with inventory, I felt like I was always behind the 8 ball, and it just got me thinking where I could have taken advantage and really helped the business grow during this time. However, I just kind of sit back, not relax, but just kind of look at the landscape and see what was happening. And I saw these various items just selling and going for crazy money. And so by the time I started to get some of these items, it was a little bit too late. Yes, I made some money, but I could have made a lot more money. So for me, it made me want to understand, what is risk? And so the definition of risk is the possibility or chance of loss, danger, or injury. And I think the reason why this comes up is because the future has happened. And I think when it comes time to make a decision for your business, there is risk involved. There's like the definition says, there's a possibility of a chance or a loss. And with that being said, if you're going to grow, you have to take a risk. Now, there's something else that you can do to better your chances, and that's called calculated risk. So I want to read the definition for the audience with calculated risk, and it says the chance of success is higher than the chance of failing as you have carried out the appropriate amount of research. So it leads me to when I first started reselling. I didn't know what I was doing. I went to the stores and I started just buying like cleats because of the price. Now the price was very low, so I felt like, okay, well, there's not much of a risk. However, the cleats didn't sell because I was buying like 17s, 18, size 15 because I just didn't know. And so without doing research, I had the risk, and then I ended up returning them, and it just really delayed the process of me, learning and reselling and growing. But now that I've been doing it past a year, now I understand what calculated risk is. And so there was a situation where there was some cleats, and I decided to really go all in. And this was my first time really like, making the decision like I'm going all in. And for me, I did the research on the particular cleat, because a lot of cleats that hit these Nike outlets, sometimes they're older models. Yes, they're a silver box, but they're older models. But this particular one was a Vapor 13, and so it was newer. So I decided, let's go all in. And then that ended up, working out where it was a great investment, and it was a great calculated risk. And by doing that, I didn't have any regrets. And I think in life, especially running a reselling business, you don't know what's going to sell. You don't know what's going to be in demand. I mean, you might have a hunch, you might have a gut feeling, and sometimes, that's the right thing to do. So bottom line, instead of taking risks, you want to take calculated risks, because you don't want to have any regrets. And so I looked up the word regret, and it says a feeling of sadness or disappointment over something that has happened or been done. And so it just leads me to like, what am I going to do with my business now in the future? Do I want to have regrets that, I'm not taking advantage of the current situation, where I feel a lot of people are going to be shopping online, especially with the stores slowly opening, and then people still scared really of going out in these stores. So I do want to change my business model. I do have some opportunities where I'm gonna take the calculated risk. I'm gonna do my homework, and so I just really wanted to share that with you guys. As far as, if you're thinking about something and you're contemplating, you don't want to live with regrets, but you also don't want to maybe perhaps take the risk, but maybe you need to take a calculated risk, which you're going to have a higher percentage. Now, you still might fail, but you're really going to increase your odds where it's the right thing. And during the coronavirus, there were some opportunities, and I just passed on them. I said, you know what? I don't want to take the risk. I don't know too much about it. And, I just sit back and just kind of watched others and just learn. And some people did really well, the ones that were really aggressive, and they took the right risk. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And just don't live with any regrets. Just do the right thing. Also, I want to talk about the goals and milestones. I didn't get any sent to me this week, but I do want to share one with me. When the first episode did launch, one of the goals that I shared was like, I want my Poshmark profits to be double digits, and at that point I was at 6%, and so currently I'm at 10%, which is really good. So now the goal is, how can I take it to 15 and then 20, because I'm just really exposed with other platforms, eBay and Goat and StockX. So I just don't want to have all my eggs in one basket. So I'm really happy with the growth, and that took about a month. So I came on the show, I shared my goal, made myself accountable to everybody, and worked on it, made some adjustments, and then boom, 4% up in overall profits from Posh. So just want to share that with you guys. If you guys have any goals or milestones you want to share, we can do it with your name, or you can be anonymous. But I think it's just really healthy for all of us, just to be accountable and just to say it, because once you say it, now you have to act on it. Because if you don't act on it, then you're never going to get better, and you're just going to be in the same situation. So that's it. And then also, I just want to thank everybody for the support, and I'm going to continue doing these. I do want to launch some more content, and so as the stores open, it's going to happen. And remember, never forget why you started. Peace.